Hey everybody, and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. If you remember from last week's video, I showed you an extension I had created for Esprit Commerce, and I also promised you that I would tell you how to create these extensions. Well, promises are promises, so in this week's video we will see how to create step by step an extension for Esprit Commerce. Let's do it! So let's create the extension together. In order to keep this video short, I won't show you things like adding tests or like adding the backend form, which is the same as adding the frontend form, which we will see. And in case you have any questions or any doubts on how to do that, I will include in the description of this video the links to the GitHub repo in which you can see everything commit by commit, and also I would include a link to the blog post in which I usually describe everything with more detail. So having said that, let me present you my desktop so that you know where things are. First of all, here on the right side in this terminal we will be creating the extension, and on the left side in this terminal here we will have Emigration, which is the Esprit Commerce application I presented you in my last video, which is here. As you can see right now, I am trying to purchase one item here, and there is no way you can add fields, you can add information about the person you want to give this as a present, and also there is no way you can enter a dedication note here. So this is what we are going to add with our extension. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is to have the Esprit gem installed, and this is because this gem includes a command in order to create extensions. This command will provide you basically everything you need to start coding your gems. So to run it, you would say Esprit extension and give the name for your extension. In my case, it's going to be it is a present, and as you can see, when you enter that, it adds Esprit underscore as a prefix for everything. So whenever you want to access this, you need to say Esprit it is a present, which is basically the same as you will see in other extensions, like for example here in Emigration we use Esprit print invoice. It's just the same. I imagine they gave the name print invoice and then Esprit is added by default. Same here, and as you can see it's the same for all extensions. This is like the standard, right? And this is what the gem, what this Esprit extension command gives you. All the structure, as you can see here, license, readme file, everything you need to know in order to start coding. So once we have that, we need to install the dependencies here. And then once we have installed them, we will add Emigration in order to persist those recipient name and dedication fields we need for our extension. So to do that, I will do the same as I would in a normal Rails application, which is use the bundle exec Rails generate migration command, and I will say that I want to create a Esprit present notes here, and which has a recipient name and also a dedication. So I think that those errors are because of my M configuration, but I will say git init, and that should be it. So once this is created, we open our editor, favorite editor, and let's edit the migration file. So here what we need to say is, okay, we already have the recipient name, which is going to be a string, and here the dedication, which could be a text, but well, in this case I thought maybe the dedication is not going to be too long, or I hope it's not too long. And we also need to say that this is going to belong to an order, to the spree order, which we will later see how we connect those together. We want to be sure that this is going to be unique, and that in case this exists, no order can be null. So also a thing that you should do in your extensions is, instead of inheriting from active record migration, you should require spree extension migration, and then make your migrations inherit from spree extension migration. And this is because this class here gives you backwards compatibility with applications that use Rails versions which are earlier than Rails 5, which is something you want to do definitely. So once we have that, the best we can do is start using our extension so that we can see how things change. And I think that also it's a good thing, so that you can develop things easier. So to do that, I will include the spree it is a present name gem. Sorry, we created earlier, and I will give it a path in my computer, which is the one here, which is I'm going to copy, paste here, and let's install this. So, okay, once this is installed, we need to execute this command here, which is provided by the spree extension command, which is like running something with a Rails generator, and it's basically spree it is a present install. What this is going to do is this is going to install everything that your extension needs to be installed. In our case, this is going to copy the migration we just created and also run it, so that we already have support in our application schema for present nodes. So let's wait until that's done and we are ready. So the next step would be to be able to work with the schema changes we just did in our extension. And to do that, we are going to add a new model. So the default guide for extensions in Spree, the official guide, sorry, for extensions in Spree, shows you how to add fields to an existing model. In our case, we are going to add a completely new model, which is Spree present nodes, and then we will see how to connect it with an existing model, namely Spree order. So we will, under app models, we are going to create the model present node. Sorry, let's add the module before, because all Spree models are under this module here, under the Spree module. So let's see Spree present. Let's say Spree present. Sorry, node. Spree. This is class present node, which inherits from Spree base. And we say that this belongs to the order, which has class name Spree order. This is necessary because, as you can see in this other file here in the migration, we say order and it's the name of the class doesn't match, so Rails will not be able to inference that, so we need to help Rails with this class name here. So once we have that, we need to guarantee that we can navigate through objects, and we want to be able to navigate from an existing order, which is what we're going to be able to see in the Spree backend and also in the front-end interfaces. So we need to add navigation from order, right? To do that, we see that here. Well, first of all, let me tell you that we are going to extend things under core, which are the models. Here are the models. Then there are the front-end controllers, and then also the things that this is the part that the customers of the application see, and this is where the backend is where the everything related to the administration of the store is. So in our case, as this is a core model, we are going to go to core, application, models, Spree, and then order. So we want to extend Spree order. And the way that Spree guides recommend to do that is through decorators, which is really clean and which is what we are going to do. So to create a decorator for order, we are going to create a file for it, which is going to be under models. We are going also to prefix that with our gem, everything in our gem module, so that we avoid conflicts with existing or with other gems decorators. So we will say order decorator, RB, and create a module for Spree. It is a present module Spree module order decorator, and then this is simply going to be an active support concern. So we say that we want to extend for an active support concern, and we say that whenever this is prepended, we want to have as one present node. We want orders to have present nodes. We want to tell this that the class name is going to be Spree present node, basically the one here we just created. And we also want to say that whenever this is destroyed, we also want to, of course, destroy present nodes. And also very important, we want to say that this accepts nested attributes for present node, so that later we can persist present node information whenever we create or update a order. And also, I think it's also really important to say that we want to reject these attributes in case they are all blank, because if you don't add this, you will start seeing that whenever you create a order, you will be also creating a lot of present node records, no matter if there are values for that or not. So as we want like that to happen, let's have that reject if there. Also very important, and we will see that in the form, is that we want to have this method here, which basically, this is basically in the form so we want to say in the form that if we are updating the present node in an order and this already exists, give this back, return this present node, and if it doesn't, just build a new one. And that will be it. The module. Sorry, that was too much. And with that, what do we need to do? We need to prepend this to the existing spree order. So we want to say spree prepend, and we want to prepend our module spree is a present, spree order decorator here, and that's it. So now that we have navigation between models, we probably would like to add the view so that we can start seeing this coming to life. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this because it would be too long to write this form. I'm going to create it under views, and it's going to be spree present nodes, and this is going to be the form html.v, and this is the form here. Sorry, in this case is in Spanish because all the whole interface was in Spanish. If you want to, as you know, or from my last video, the gem supports English, Spanish, German. Instead of seeing the plain fields here with Spanish, you would see internationalization methods here. And well, let me just tell you for the time being what's in here. You have two fields, one for the recipient name and other for the dedication node, and then also the method we saw here, so that we get the existing present node in case we are updating this, or we build a present node in case we are creating an order. Yeah, that's it at this point. If we restart the server, we should be able to see changes in our spree commerce site. So let's wait until this has restarted, and let's hit refresh. And of course, yeah, and sorry, this is now showing because this is not showing up because I forgot to add the deface here, override. Yeah, because I added here a form, but I didn't tell where I want this form to appear, right? So we're going to do that with deface. Deface has been the default way to add these partials to the interfaces until I would say last version where the deface dependency has been removed from Spree core. I don't know if this means that we should use another way or that we should continue using deface but just adding that dependency explicitly to our project. That's actually what the guides in order to extend Spree say. And in the last upgrade, and in fact we need that for in Vivayon we need that for Spree print invoice, and that's why I have it here already here. But if you don't have this dependency and you are in the last version of Spree, which is 4.2, you should be adding this here too. So let's add that to our application, sorry, our extension. So we would say application overrides, and then let's give it a good name so that we know where this is going to appear. We want to add present notes to check out address form, which is the one here. You can see check out address form, and we say deface override new, and then the virtual path where this is going to appear, which is, as we saw right now, Spree checkout address. So in order to know that, you will need to navigate through the partials, through the views in Spree, and you will know where you want to add your partials. And then I want to add the following text, which is going to render my partial, which is the one I just created here, which is a Spree present notes form, and then I'm going to give some locals. First of all, the form, and also the order. And that should be it. Let's give it also name. For example, present note form. Yeah, I like it. And also we are going to say that we want to insert these, insert before delete address pop-up. And why do I know that I want to add that here? Because I inspected this page here and I just saw one where I wanted to add that. Also, as you can see, there are many data hooks here, which is something that the Spree guys added, thinking about including parcels with deface so that it's really easy for you to include those. So you can use IDs, data hooks, or wherever you need in order to include your parcels with tface. So yeah, should be it. Let's refresh this. And we should see our form appearing. So there you go. It is a present, name of the person which is going to get the present, and also the dedication. Basically here the recipient name and the dedication. But of course nothing is going to be persisted here, because from one side we have the views and on the other side we have the model, but we need the glue between those, which is the controller. So we need to also change the way that checkouts are done right now. So as we said earlier, this is going to be in the front end, because this controller belongs to the part of the application that the customers see, and the controller actually lives here under app controllers, Esprit checkout controller. So this is the controller that we want to extend. You can navigate through the application and follow the code logic in order to discover which is the controller or the model or whatever you need to be extended. So in our case, for the checkout address, we need to extend the checkout controller here. And how are we going to do that? In the same way we did before, which is adding a decorator for this, right? So in our extension here, we will create at this point under controllers, again, in order to avoid conflicts with other gems, we prefix that with our gem name, and then we say that we want to create a decorator for this checkout controller. And it is a present module Esprit module checkout controller decorator, and we want this to be an extension of active support concern again, and we want to extend the private method in which permitted attributes are read. So this would be this here, the permitted checkout attributes, right? So we simply say that permitted checkout attributes. We have the already existing ones plus the ones for present node. Attributes, this is the way that the attributes are usually added when using accept nested attributes for, and those are going to come from a new method that we are going to create right now, present node attributes, which are basically going to be, as we already know, the recipient name and the dedication node. We end everything and we prepend this to the already existing check out controller. Yeah, time to take a break. That would be great. That's the bfocus extension. Sorry about that. Prepend. With spree. It is a present. Spree. Sorry. Count controller decorator. And at this point we should be ready to persist the information if we have, if I haven't written anything wrong. So let's say that we are Homer Simpson, as in our previous episode. I don't know which street, some street, city, Springfield, province is fine, not changing it. And then the phone, invented phone here. The person getting the present is going to be Marge, of course. And it is for you, Margie. Is that how it's said? Margie? I don't know. So let's save and continue. And at this point, if everything works as expected, we should be able to open here panel exec Rails console and then navigate through these models. So let's first retrieve the last present node, which is there. March, dedication, it is for you, Margie. And then also in our order, if we say spree order last, we should have navigation to the present node, right? And we do. So you won't typically see the data here in the console. So what you will need to do probably is to extend the backend here and display that in, you would need to basically do the same, which is adding a form, adding an override with deface, and then adding the fields you need in the controller so that whenever you do any change in the backend interface, it gets persisted in the database. But as I said, I don't want to make this video longer. You have the link to the GitHub repo from this gem, and as you may already know, if you have worked with me in the past or if you work with me, you will know that I like to have a pretty clean commit history. So you can go there and look commit by commit to all the changes I did, and you should expect also to have an explanation there for each commit. So having said that, I hope you enjoyed this and start creating spree extensions. Well, that was all for this week's video. If you liked it, don't forget to smash that like button and also to subscribe to my channel so that you don't lose any future updates. Also, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask them to me in the comment section down below. We are already 14 subscribers, which may not seem a lot, but definitely it's a lot for me. So thank you very much for this and see you in next week's video. Adios.